weekly update. Well, as you can see, I got my electrical outlet plugged in here on the back of the bus. Plugged into 110 into the wall. And what's this, you say? It is diesel fuel that go to my diesel heater that is ran underneath of the bus and inside. So let's take a walk and show you. Also, I got my water port installed that goes to my water tank, and that's where you'll fill your water. And you have a city line, and then you have a gravity fill, and then this is your bleeder, so air can go in the tank, or come out of the tank. And then I'll probably have another PEX that will be a city fill that will be on the other side of the bus, close to that outlet, just in case I got to fill from the other side. But we'll take a walk. I don't know how good you're going to see this. Maybe that will help. But now you walk in to the doors, and I have the wall in right here in the front. When you come into the driver's area, and if you look, now come on in. Open my door, and right here I have my switches, so you could toggle them right when you come in the bus. But you come on in, being that the wall is all framed, and now I'm in. And as you can see on the back panel, I started running some wires, which they go there, and then there's a few that run down here over to this side into the fuse block with the right gauge wire for the distance. And then right here up, there you go, you got another outlet, because now that I built my shelf right here, the shelf for the kitchen, right here up top, it's where you put your plates and your cups. Then right here will be the air fryer that will sit over here in the kitchen area. And as you can see, I got some of the paneling done right here. Got the paneling done here. Got the paneling done here. Paneling done here. Down on the floor. So when you look here, even though the pads are not there right now, got to move all my supplies inside and finish this wall right here. So now you can see all I gotta do is put the slides in there now, put a nice piece of pretty board here, as I call it, and got some of the wires running here that come from the main electrical box, which I got all wired up now. It's sitting in the mini server rack, which is all boxed up, which is really nice because you can come back here. There's a big gap that I can run wires down into, and from the corner over here you have access to the wires, and you have access behind the driver's door. There'll be an axle panel. Then as you can see, this is actually plywood, so stuff could be screwed into it compared to the thin wood right here. So you'll have your solar components right here, and then your big inverter that will run right directly into the 110. And then, of course, the big wire that will run to or straight to the batteries, the red and black. Runs all down along the wall, down here to my other fuse panel, which is right there, which that's my 110 wire right there. Those are all the wires running to all my particular appliances that are going to go up top up there, and that's where the 110 comes in, which could be 30 amp or 20 amp. Then as you can see, outlets are all installed. They're smart USBs, so they will charge your phone whatever particular voltage they need to be. I didn't put one here because I had to save the room on the inside for you know, all the water pump and the filters and stuff that I'm going to put here, and have my little drawers right here. So I only left one on this side, but I'll have one there that'll go on the back of the desk right there. That'll be for TV and everything. TV and all your other appliances. And then if we walk on over here, I finally got it. It is my 20-inch actuator, which will be installed right here. That will go to the pad right here for the recliner and the bed. So where that big piece that's right here will come up right here and stop and then turn into the bed. And you will power that by this little guy. I got the 3 switches, so you'll have one's for the lights that are going to be up here. The other one will be for recliner, and this one I don't really know what I'm going to do with, but I might just connect it to the main lights that are going to run down the walls, being that the main lights are going to connect from here to the back and run all the way down. But they'll be mounted up here like this, somewhere right where you're in your recliner seat, and you'll be able to push the button, the reverse button, back and forth for the recliner. And down here, which is a fun task, is the diesel heater. As you see, you got the 4 ports on there. You got your fuel pump line. Then you got the other wires that run over here. Well, it's technically this wire right now. I need to extend it, but that's a AC to DC converter because I don't have batteries yet. So it just draws, supposedly it's only supposed to be like 0.7 amps to 7 amps on startup, and then run at point something. So very little energy draw to get massive heat. And then on this one, you got your little on-off control panel with the, you could turn the fan up high or low. And this thing right here, once I get some 22.4, will be mounted up here, because this spot up here is going to be right where my access panel is for my other 7 switches I have. And that will power the main lights, the kitchen lights. It has a water pump on there. That will be over there. And then the screen for the hot water tank, being that the shower's right here. Being that the shower's right here, you can literally just reach your arm out and adjust the temperature of the water heater if it's not too hot or cold. And then, as you can see, this is basically, I got the boards in place because I modified my design here. So I thought to myself, I'm like, I'm going to make a slide out pantry right here, that slides out. Why don't I do the same thing for the closet? So I'll have the whole closet slide out, and then I'll make dividers within that particular area. Instead of reaching in and hanging everything up, I could just pull the whole closet out. So when I get out of the shower here, if I have it kind of like divided down the middle, shirts have been hanging on one side, and then either I'll hang the towel right here on the back of the door for when you get out of the shower, or I'll hang the towel on the other side of the divider, and then, you have your socks, your pants, your fundies, and everything else. But it's pretty good. I just got to run the rest of this wire over here so I could foam up these walls. I could foam them up, and then this space will be completely sealed. So my heat won't escape in to, I'm locked in, to the driver's area out here, which heat escapes from the windows and, of course, the 2 doors that open. And like I said, it's privacy. So like when I close this door, as you can see with the light on anyway, once everything's sealed up, you wouldn't even see any light in here, from being that my windows are painted and it's all blocked off by insulation. You won't even know someone's in there. You might see the blue LEDs on these guys, but that's about it. And then the only thing I'm going to do in here is, you can't really see good because I moved the light, but I'm going to put an outlet right there, right by the driver's area. So, once I have the camera system installed, you'll have a tablet that sits there on the dash where you could view all the cameras around the bus while you're driving. And then your phone will sit next to it for your GPS and music. And then I want an outlet right here. So if you're out here on the outside of the bus and, it's raining or something, you could just plug in right here. Even though I'm going to have outlets outside somewhere, I haven't determined where the best spot is for them yet. But I'll have one here, one on the back, and one on the other side. And then basically from the power box over there, I'll just pop down through the floor, and then I'll run them in the chassis down there, and then put outdoor electrical boxes. But other than that, this turned out just the way I thought it would, because, as you can see, I have a big open space, because I could have went completely square right across with the door, but then literally you'd have this much room when you walk into the bus. You can't wipe your feet off, can't take your shoes off or anything. Now you got this big open area right here where you could come in, and you'll have storage up here in these bays. But, you have space in here. I'm all the way back to the door. You got space in here now where I could do anything I want with this section. And at the moment, I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with it. I'm almost been thinking of getting a passenger chair from a van, in the back where you push the button and they automatically fold up and down, where if I don't want to make storage right there, because I could make more storage right there, which is logical, but if I have a passenger, they're literally going to have to sit in the back, and this thing's on too much of a curve that I wouldn't trust attaching a fold-down seat, and then I want to bang my knees into it every time I come into the bus. But I could literally cut the 2 inches I have right here in the floor, and if I take the whole van seat out with the tracks, I can cut 2 inches out of here, and then when you walk in here, the tracks will be below the floor, but I can tie it into the switch right here where I hit the switch and the seat would go forward, complete its cycle, or I could hit the switch and it would come back and complete its cycle, and then technically then the seat would just literally sit right here, just like you're a passenger, like if this was a regular dash, and you'd sit right here and technically just be right next to me where the driver's seat is. And then, of course the seat would have a seat belt built onto it, and this would be connected to the chassis. But, that's down the line. I mean, it's not pressing at the moment. Then another thing is, here's another switch panel. Eventually, see, that ties into the main battery of the bus. I don't really want anything drawing from that battery, so I'm not dead in the water. So I don't want anything drawing from that battery, but I might run a switch, even though all the electrical up there is right there, so I can run it right to all my electrical components. But I might tie into my battery just in case. Or I'll have my batteries tie into my main battery. So say my main battery dies out, and I still got juice in my 600 to 800 amp hours of those batteries in there. I can hit a button, and it will jump the main battery. So that battery's never dead. I could just jump it, from those batteries. But I'd have to put a kill switch in, which is not technically that hard, being that that main battery runs right up into there and could tie right into my other batteries without me having to run 50 wires underneath the bus and spend another $200 on a wire. But the cool thing is you can't even see it, but this is an air conditioner, a big air conditioner, and there's a condenser on the side of the bus. But there's a little opening here above the door. I don't know, but I might tie some ducting here above the door where the air conditioner can blow in to the main cabin there, being that as long as the vehicle's running, I could run this air conditioner. Then again, I might be able to run this air conditioner. Oh, no, I can't, because the AC compressor is tied into the main belt. But other than that, yeah, here's the main electrical. And what the cool thing is you can't really see it from right here, but there's a little ice lighter guy right here, which connects directly to the alternator. And once my batteries are down here, I'll literally put my DC to DC converter, and it will charge my main battery from the alternator and charge my other batteries for one source of charging. Then I'll have the solar that comes in. That'll be my second source of charging. Then in the back, with the same cord, being that I bought a 30 amp with twist lock, there'll be a generator back there on the back bumper that will be another source of charging. And then, so I'll have fail safes if my batteries run low, if the solar is not good on a particular day. And then of course, if like many parks, they all have plug-in, my batteries will charge with the inverter that I'm buying automatically from the inverter will charge my batteries too. And it's all smart, and it shows you on the app, and the app will show you how much you're drawing, how much amperage is being drawn, how much solar you're getting in, what is charging your batteries, what particular source, and it automatically switches it for you and does all that. It's a expensive toy, but it's well worth it. So you don't have to flip on and off breakers 50 or 60 times. But other than that, yeah, I'm getting there. I have to get the piece of wood that goes here first for the kitchen, and I think I'm going to have about 20 by 20 sink. And then, of course, my burners are going to go here too. And then I was thinking to myself, I'm like, so I'm going to have this much space to this much space all the way back for like a cutting board, but the sink is going to have a cutting board on it too. I'm thinking that I might cut out a square right here and run boards across. And if I really can, have a garbage can right here that slides in and out. But you don't have to slide the garbage can out, but I need somewhere to throw the garbage. That's annoying, and I don't want it all sitting in the front cab. So I think this little section right here, that's going to be a pull-out garbage can. And yeah, and then a sink will go here, of course, and the faucet will run in the back, which the faucet's pretty cool because it has a built-in water. It has 2 water spigots in one, so it doesn't have the separate water spigot. So the one spigot will run to the water filters, and then the other one will be the main spigot for your sink when you wash your dishes. And then, like I said, in the back area right here, I'm going to put a 2x4 here and a 2x4 over there, and then that'll give you a gap like yay. And then I'll have my sharps and my spices and everything. And then right here, I'm going to put a 2x4 that goes across because I have the room, and a 2x4 right here. So there'll be a fat part right here that runs up to this part right here because it doesn't need to be open right here. And then it'll run all the way back right here. And then right next to my burners, this little section right here, I'll have a bunch of hooks and whatnot. And then I'll have all my spatulas and everything sitting inside there. So literally you just grab a spatula and you cook your foods, and up top you'll have your my Ninja Foodie XL 15,000 accessories. And wait, let me rephrase that. It does 15 things. It has everything that it can do. It could rapid bake, it could air fry, it can sear, it can, it just, every year they come out with one more thing it could do. So the next one will be a 17, next one will be a 20, 21, it'll have so many of them functions. And then it's not pressing right now, being that now that you have somewhere to sit, you can actually lift the bed up and down. But these same actuators, these same exact actuators, smaller ones of course, will get mounted here. Let's see if I can get a good view of this. They'll be mounted here like that on all 4. But see, that's a 20-inch stroke. I'm going to need one that's like a 15-inch stroke because it only has to go from there to there. And then I'll attach those bars all the way across. And those actuators will sit on all 4. And then I'll have a switch up there that will power all 4 of those actuators to make the lift bed go up and down. Because basically that's what this thing is. If you look at it, it's just a huge hydraulic with a little transmission on it. But it's electric, and it's 12 volt. Not 120. So, and basically you get your 12 volt fed in there. This guy connects down. You connect the other piece here, and then this is a hydraulic. And it expands and contracts, and it has a really high weight capacity. I think this one's 300 pounds. So 4 of those on this lift bed, being that you don't lay on the lift bed when you raise and lower it. It should be more than sufficient to raise the bed up and down, and then I can make all that look enclosed and fancy and padded up and everything. Once I get these guys installed, the only thing that's hard with these is what I've heard is they don't all run the same speeds, and the control box for them are very expensive. So the way around it is buying speed controllers for each individual one, and then you gotta dial in the speeds. So one's going faster than the other. That way this thing opens and closes level, being that it literally only has to go 9 inches from where it stops to roof. And then you can see that's opening right here. I'm technically going to do the same thing, how you got the pad right here. I'm going to put a pad all the way across. And then when you close it, this will form to the ceiling, because scribing has been the hardest part on this bus. As you can see over there, it's not perfect, but it's very close. Same thing right there. Scribing that to the ceiling was super hard, being that the walls are crooked too. So you have to find the scribe for the back wall and the scribe for the ceiling. And if you look from an angle here, you can see that wall just goes shook. So I had to scribe that back area and scribe that back area, or the ceiling area. So those boards, a lot of nail biting. And I upped my game. I got this bad boy, which awesome. If I do say so. You open this. So it's a nailer, 18 gauge, but you see his old tracks in here? You can get any size, so you don't have to have a different nailer to buy different size nails. Then pop that bad boy in there. Got a little light right there on the top, and an adjuster on the one side, and you could choose multi-nail or single nail. And it's not heavy and does a pretty good job, as you can see. And then, I know this is a long video, so bear with me. This is for terminals. So you make your terminals, which are these guys. We've all seen them before. And those are particular gauges for different wires. Then you put it in this guy and you crimp it, heat shrink it, and then you're good. And you got these guys that are male and female. Then you got these guys that plug into the fuse boxes. You got the fuse boxes like this. And then this cover goes on it, and your wires stick out one way, stick out the other way. As you can see it wired up over there. And if you guys are ever going to do outlets, these things are lifesavers. Literally, stick it on the wall, level it, trace it, then your box, just like that, goes right in. So that's my updates. I got quite a few things done. Now it's a matter of, getting some more things done. One thing at a time. The electrical's pretty much done. I got to run a few more outlets and whatnot, but that'll be done. It's just all wiring it up now. Because it needed a lot more wire than I thought it was going to need to, and then it will be doing the water pump, the kitchen counter, and the desk. Then at least getting some kind of water ran into here, and then I got to run a black tank underneath the floor right there. Because you'll have a drain spout that goes there, and then you'll have a drain that'll come from the kitchen right there. And I have to go down to a black tank, or a gray tank as they call it, for non-waste material. And then I go outside the bus, and you could dump whenever you want, and then got to finish the shower, which is my last priority, because I could shower in a few different places. As long as I got running water, do dishes, and I can cook, which is another thing. I got to order the burners. The only part that sucks right now is I don't have the back deck. So when I use my burners, technically I'm going to have my propane tank in the driver's area, and then come back here and hook it up if I don't buy a camping burner for right now. Just that you plug the butane into it, and you can cook on that. Yeah, and then I'll get the desk done area over here. Now I could charge everything. I got heat in here now. I could charge my laptops, phones, doodads. I got more than enough outlets in here to do that. And oh, that's one thing I didn't even talk about. The cool thing about this is, so it's got 3 at 120, and each one has two 20 amp circuits. So that's a circuit. So I get 6 circuits, which is good. One for the outlets in the back, one for this closet server rack circuit. Another one will be for the TV/laptop if I have it over there. The other one will be directly to my highest draw, which will be the Ninja Foodie air fryer, and the other one will be outdoor. And then I don't know if that's more than 6, but the last one will be the driver's area. So you could power anything fast in the driver's area when you're actually driving. And I'm gonna end this video because there's much more to come, so I'll have more footage. But yep, that's all I got. I'll talk to you later.